That is indeed going to be the case, Kid Fox. Thank you very much. Here we go, guys. Back into the fold of things. Dark Side of Double Trouble. Get to see them twice in one night. Celebrations all around. And congratulations to all the winners of the skins, especially Jim Jam for constantly rigging it. Don't know what his secret is, but I'm sure, Vandy, we need to get amongst it.
I want in on this. So I'm going to manage Jim Jam, and everything that he gets, he has to split in half with me. That's going to be the plan. I'll let you in on that one as well, Skimmy.
That sounds like marriage.
Shut up.
Have you got Hot's marriage? Is this a new kind of thing? E-girls and E-boys?
We're moving
too fast. Let's keep it serious. Let's get back to the matter at hand. Let's figure out who we are missing. We're missing one member from the side of No Worries, who I'm sure are taking it nice and chilled and really living up to their name's title.
Yeah, exactly. With Infernal Shrines as well, what are we looking to see? We did have Infernal Shrines earlier in the evening as well. Kerrigan did come out with much success. Whether we're going to see her being banned, that's a question on my mind.
Well, I want to know exactly what is going on here. Oh, there we go. Tommy has figured himself out. We are ready to jump into this one. Yeah, Infernal Shrines. Teams keep bringing back Darksider to this. That's all they've been playing. Close quarter maps. Playing exactly into Darksider strategy. But No Worries, a slightly higher level team. Let's see how they can adapt and how they can really challenge them.
Exactly, especially if they were watching the stream as well. They might even have a leg up to see exactly what Darkside was hoping to play, what they want to run this time around, whether they're going to bother denying the Malfurion once again, force moops onto something else, or let's just see how they're going to play it, essentially. You really need to stop the aggression that Darkside bring.
Well, let's touch on, whilst these guys figure out where they want to go with this draft, let's actually touch on the pre-game. So we had No Worries deciding to go for the ban on Towers of Doom. Darkside to respond with Braxis. Once again, a map that they're not too happy to play. Seems to be the case with Darkside. Anything that's too macro-intensive, they're not really a big fan of. They love these small quarter maps. But I'm surprised no team ban has actually brought them to Cursed Hollow.
Yeah, I think if you were going to pick a map that Darksided would not feel as comfortable on, it would be something like Cursed Hollow. Dare I say it, something like Warhead Junction even, where no one feels comfortable. You can each take a stab at it and hope that you do well.
Yeah. But, I mean, same sort of story once again. They do ban away to Tahaka. They've got the first pick, so it just shows that they're not wanting to go for that. Shows almost an indication that they are looking for that Kerrigan again. But like you said already, were No Worries watching the stream? Did they get a chance to see how Darkside would like to rock things on here? They themselves are now hovering over what they want to ban. Last time City Walk took away the Anubrak. Potentially this time they're going to either go for the Arthas or the Kerrigan. We'll have to see.
Yeah, really that Arthas Kerrigan combo is doing a lot of work, packing the CC. They have opted to ban out Anubrak instead. So they're saying, it's all right if you take the Kerrigan. We have something up our sleeves. I think that they're not going to be too fussed if the Kerrigan is taken. I don't think it's the be-all, end-all. You really just need to, once again, just have some crowd control ready for her. Have something even like a Brightwing, someone that can polymorph, or, dare I say it, Shrink Ray. Just come up with an answer for her, essentially, or kite her. Kite is really not Kerrigan's friend.
Well, let's touch upon in terms of what we actually saw earlier tonight. We had a draft which was pretty well adapted to actually counteract what Darkside had brought to the table. The execution, though, was a little bit lacking. I'm sure a team like No Worries could rise to the occasion and try and play it to a higher degree. We'll have to see if that's the direction they want to go. Darkside are really taking a long time here, actually deciding what they want their first pick to be, which is either going to be a blessing or a burden. I mean, it's always a bit worrying when you're taking this long to try and lock in.
It really is. What's going through their mind? Who do they want to be the first pick? What are they thinking? And how is it going to set them up for the rest of the draft? And now all our answers can be... Well, all the answers are revealed. They banned a Haka because they wanted to try and play the global game, it looks like.
So almost sort of complement the idea that they're thinking this has to be a respect. You know, we can't just face roll with the Kerrigan and get these early game picks because they, well, you know, they'll respect what we're going to bring with it. They know how to counteract it. The response really straight away from No Worries is we're going for Uther, we're going for Greymane. Greymane arguably one of the best heroes in the game for that assassin role. And Uther, you know, Divine shooting that Greymane, making sure he can do extremely risky plays. We've seen in the past when Nomia, both John and Arcana pop off together. It's such a force to deal with, very hard to counteract.
That's right, Skimmy. Really, we always harp on the synergy between characters. So some things like Lucio and Arthas, Oriel and Gul'dan or Oriel and Valor. And now really we're starting to see Uther and Greymane become the best of chums. And really it's Storm or Divine Shield, it sets him up so well for Greymane to really get in there, play that executioner style that that hero is known for. And instantly now we are seeing the D.Va and the Arthas being picked up.
Well, I actually quite like that, Van, and I'm sure you'll agree with me when you break it down, because I see D.Va and Arthas all about that point control, and especially D.Va with the self-destruct when it comes to those shrines, really counteracts what sort of Greymane wants to do, right? He wants to get in your face, he wants to dive your backline, but if you're going to be slowed by Arthas, not to mention you have to be so self-concerned or self-aware of that self-destruct, it makes you really had to adapt your playstyle.
Absolutely correct, Skimmy. Couldn't have broken it down any better myself. It's exactly as you said. It's counteracting exactly what they want to do with the Greymane Uther. They say, come and dive us. We have the Arthas who will slow you, he'll root you, potentially, and all that happens is that if D.Va's got self-destruct, it's just ticking down to your doom. And really, D.Va is quite a popular pick on this map because of the control she can bring exactly for that. If you're trying to dive into the shrines to try and take it, she's so good at stalling, she's so good at giving you that shrine control.
So they go for the Mouth ban, and we've talked about this in the past between Mouth and Arthas. That's the ideal pick comp, right? You've got the Howling Blast followed up by the Entangling Roots. That is someone guaranteed to be caught, not only in D.Va's Explosion, but in whatever Darkseid decide to run with as well. But then they ban it away. They ban away the Li Ming, which generally speaking we think is a bit of a interesting choice when it comes to this map. It's 50-50 in terms of how much value it can find, given that Darkseid have gone such a objective-heavy control sort of squad. Li Ming would obviously give them that backline sort of control, but we saw what Kael'thas can do in the right hands.
That's right. By taking Li Ming off the board, there is still Kael'thas and even Jaina. Jaina was brought out by Darkseid with quite nice results on this map, might I say. And Li Ming, yes, she is a little bit here and there. People say she's not as good because the little dudes block a lot of the poke coming out from her orb, but if she can get you poked down in lane, even she can use the little dudes to burst her orb to actually make you take that damage. So sometimes it can work for her. It's just a respect. She's the same mechanic as Genji, essentially, and that's exactly, it's a respect ban. And now we're seeing Nazeebo and Rhaegar being picked up on the side of Darkseid, but Tyrael and Tychus being picked up on the side of No Worries.
Well, it seems to be carrying on that theme of we want invulnerability, we want the ability to make sure that somebody is empowered, be it the Greymane or even the Tychus, which was their second pick. So opting for the Tychus as opposed to the Kael'thas or Jaina. Have to see if that is the right option. I mean, they will have that backline ability to shred on through. It's suggesting that, right, well, if we can't actually dive you, how about we just kill your tanks, eliminating that threat for our Greymane to actually get into your backline. So it'd be interesting to see what their final pick is. You'd have to imagine it's a tank, but Nazeebo and Rhaegar, both great with the wave clear, but gives them the ability then to reach the late game and try and outscale what No Worries are trying to bring to the table.
What this also does on the side of No Worries, it then opens up to them. They say, all right, if we get a strong early game happening, if we can then force a snowball in our favor, never let Nazeebo reach his potential, this will work quite well in our favor. So by going that Muradin, I think it will allow them now. They've got a roaming CC squad that they can then use to get picks, similar to what Darkseid were doing. They can go with Muradin, Uther, and Greymane, roam around where they let Tychus and Tyrael soak to try and get these picks. And if they do get the snowball in their favor, Skimmy, this is where things could play out quite nicely for No Worries.
Well, I was just going to say, if we compare these squads side by side, really when it comes from a strategy of 4v4, sort of the bruisers, we know it's most likely going to be Tyrael up against Falstead in that solo lane bit, the top lane. When it comes to the 4v4 rotations from mid to bot, Darkseid are actually in a bit of a different situation. They are not playing the aggressors. They're the ones that are going to have to be thinking, let's play it chill, let's reach these infernal shrine objectives themselves. Let's control the shrines. Let's really play around that. And let's not make sure that we ourselves get jumped on and lose those important couple of levels in the early game.
Exactly right, Skimmy. And I'm just so keen to see how they play it out. Really, I think Darkseid now, both teams are drafted quite well into exactly, they read each other quite well and how they were going to play. And they each came up with a solution to, okay, if they're going to do this, we've got this to counteract it. So let's see if they can put their money where the draft is, essentially. Let's see how it works.
Let's do it, Vandy. Here we go, guys. Round number 2 for week 2 of the playoffs. And this team on the right-hand side looking to flex their might, looking to cause an upset in this best of 3. There's No Worries. Right-hand side rocking those red shorts. It's Jesmez rocking Tychus. Tommy on Tyrael. Ultivian on Greymane. We have Uther being played by Moondruid and Laker on a Muradin.
And cool as a cucumber on the blue side, we've got Demise on Nazebo, Booty on Arthas, Moops on Rhaegar, Hacky on Falstad, and Vikarek on Diva, and they are Team Darksided, formerly known as Morton's List.
Name changes, but the players stay the same, and right now they've been playing out of their mind. Let's see, against a harder opposition, can they replicate the same results? No gnome yet. First position all up for grabs here. Who can be the king of ANZ? Who can keep that throne seat warm whilst Nomi are in Sweden?
Makes me think of Game of Thrones. That Iron Throne, just like, oh god, do we have to sit in it? It's such a tall order.
Well, I mean, it's a great TV show. It'll be coming out soon, but let's talk about HOTS, because that's the show that we're watching right now. It's not Netflix, but it's Twitch TV. And Ufa is the first one to fall on down. First blood just like that. Darksided showing us that, no, we can find kills. We can play aggressive.
Darksided are the ones that want to flex their aggression, doing exactly what I was expecting No Worries to do, rotating as a squad, trying to get the picks, and even look, Jesmes, not safe yet, does do a sidestep.
He actually dashes into the zombie wall. Demise with the predictions. Oh, Vikrek actually going for the lay-by. Moops actually getting baited over, and I'm pretty sure we've seen this in the past. Exact same spot with Vanilla, and he got baited over. That wall has to be cursed.
That wall for Rhaegar's is the chosen wall. Every time it seems to happen. This time Moops, though, he tried to get out, he healed himself, and he's like, oh my god, what am I doing? What am I doing? Desmond is a little bit slow to react. Could have done a lot more damage, potentially even gotten the kill, but I think he was just shocked to see a Moops just sitting there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of an interesting one. They're still getting so aggressive. They might actually pick up Tommy, who duped for so long, but then decided to run into the team. So question marks in my head. He does pay the price. Second kill for Darksided. That plays quite nicely now because the Shrine is active.
We are seeing that Nazebo's chosen build for this map is Toads. I would expect nothing less. I think it'll give him the best worth when he's trying to take out the Shrines. Really dealing effectively with the little dudes and pushing out the lane. So important to get that soak going. Get the pressure going.
Well, there seems to be that change of pace, especially on this map in particular. If you know a comp is going to be running straight into you, the Toads, given that they can explode, given that they will find more value than just a single target with the Spiders, can become extremely desirable. So especially when it comes to the Sieges, look to see them being a focal point. But wow, look at the combo between the Howling Blast and the Zombie Wall, locking in 3 members to start things off. Vikrak, he's got the defensive matrix, making sure that there's no retaliation and the self-destruct the zone at the members, which means they can flank the top side, and flank they do. Terror is gone. Leica is the second one that they are looking for, and Altivian, he has caught the zombie wall. These zombie walls have been impeccable. Altivian trying to find the pick, trying to get the first blood for them. He pays the price. Darksided collapse upon him, and there's just no chance, no break. 3 people drop on down in that engagement, Vandy.
Oh, No Worries would be mad. Look at how low Darksided scraped away with. We even saw Muradin jumping in, Demise so low. Couldn't make anything happen like her. He just jumped in and he just couldn't finish him off. I'd be so mad to see them that low, but it's alright. It's just the first Punisher. They can recover from this.
It's concerning, however, because we said this is how strong No Worries can be in the early game. And if you're losing, much the same as how Citywalk were losing in the early game, you find yourself in a bit of an awkward situation because we've actually got the roles in the team comps kind of split around. Yes, No Worries comp can scale quite nicely into the late game, but even more so for Darksided. You know, we're looking mainly at that Nazebo, especially when it comes to level 20 with the Vile Ritual. There's a scary, scary thing to deal with, but 2 level leads, nothing too scary at this stage, but they need to stabilize before level 10.
That's correct. They will stabilize. It's nothing too far that we haven't seen. Yes, it's just the first Punisher. Yes, they didn't get the fight that they wanted on the Shrines. But as long as they can hit level 10 at a reasonable time and fight on an even ground, it's not disaster for No Worries. They can definitely stabilize.
Let's touch on a few of these talent choices, Vandy, whilst we've got a bit of a breathing room. I mean, level 1 for Altivian, he's actually opted not for the increased range and the mana. He's actually to try and get as much ability out of the inner beast and sort of sustain. Potentially looking to go for the movement speed bonus when it comes to level 13. We'll have to see, because that's generally speaking the go-to. But across the board, otherwise, it seems to be pretty self-standard.
Yes, correct. So the only, I guess, difference that we're seeing is the take-up of viciousness, as you touched on. And I think what we've seen with Grey Moons as well, it's really interesting. A lot of people, they do like the Gilnean cocktail build, and we've seen a lot of fluctuations between what they take for their heroic talent in ANZ, whether they go for throat or I'm going to cut myself off though, Vicar.
Andy, like him, so lucky. He nearly died. Haki's actually got into the backline. Huge flight looking for the kill, but Moondra there with the heal at the very last second. Vicarak is playing washing machine pinball in that one. Blocked in by his teammate Demise, having a bit of a chuckle there, but it is a 2-level lead. The commentary is still the same. The Shrine is spawning this time in the top lane, where Darksided currently have a Shaman camp pushing for them, finding extreme value, and potentially, if they pick up this tower, that is level 10 in their sights.
They've got their sights firmly planted on it, especially by taking out that first fortification in the middle lane and setting themselves up for quite a nice shrine, because as well, all that while, the Bruiser camp is getting ultimate value in that top lane.
You can see that they were trying to force a fight in the bot lane, keeping Darksided split. Right now they are quite split between all lanes, but they will, with level 10, have that commanding presence to quite confidently walk onto the shrine, zone out their opponents, and pick up another healthy Punisher.
Oh, if they get another Punisher, now this is where things can start to get interesting. It will just only widen the lead that they are setting out to try and create for themselves. I mean, on the side of No Worries, they are opting to soak instead of going for that shrine. That is quite a good call, in my opinion. They know that if they try to fight for the shrine, they'll probably lose it. They don't have the heroic talent yet. It's just an unfavorable fight. Now,
we talked about before, Haki cutting myself off there, went for the huge MLG play. They're trying to get the Gust on Altivian, catching him at 1v4, but he does not collapse. He does not continue. I was just going to say, Vandy, I mean, we touched upon how sometimes teams delay the picture by making sure it stays at 39 skulls, invading, which is exactly what they're going to do, and maximizing all kind of value that they can get from this.
They are all about maximizing their value, Skimmy, well said. And even taking the Bruiser camp, right there, it's theirs to take. 10 has still not yet been acquired by No Worries. Only now it has been. Curse Bullet being picked up, Avatar being picked up, Shield being picked up by Uther. That's an interesting one that I think we were going to be questioning. And Sanctification opted in by Tyrael. So quite a nice safe environment for Greymane to dive into.
So let's see. So I don't expect to see them go full out with the fight here unless they get jumped on, which is going to be the case right now. There goes the bunny hop. Interesting tactic there. Odin in the backline. Now this can really pack a punch. This could be the deciding factor that swings the fight in their favor. How much value can it find? This self-destruct so well positioned by Vicarak, and that buys a lot of time for Darksided now to jump onto Lycan. He does get out. He has used the Avatar already, but it doesn't matter. Ooh, Sanctification keeping that member alive. Tommy, it doesn't really matter because the passive does come out across in the very end. He was down to 300. He was literally biting his teeth. It does not matter in the end. All things said and done, a 3-level lead still in favor of Darksided. They get the keep, and it's deja vu.
Oh my goodness, what is going on with Darksided? Their aggression, they're so well played. They're playing so well tonight, and really they're pushing their tempo so well. Every opportunity they get, every advantage they get, they're capitalizing on it.
It wasn't the ideal team fight for them, especially when the Punisher is there, and given that it was won as a frozen Punisher, which completely shuts down what Greymane is trying to do, not to mention he's already up against such a difficult squad to deal with in the first place. So let's not give it to the Darksided just yet. Let's see how No Worries can adapt to this one. Expect to see another big fight break out potentially before the Shrines. And when those ultimates are available, I'd love to see the combination between Sanctification and Divine Shield overlapping, allowing Altivian to go absolutely wild.
I really, really like how Vicarak as well is using those self-destructs, as you said, so well placed to get the ultimate zoning potential out for them. That's also the disturbance and the annoyance that D.Va can then pose to an enemy team, and he has opted to go that sort of booster build, really focusing on that disruption, on being quite a nuisance, essentially, with what D.Va's trying to do.
Well, Darksided have been given a free ticket to this bot lane keep. They've exposed it. Towers and Gate have gone for free, escorted in with the Khazra as Tommy was pushing top lane, trying to even the balance. He's only hit level 12 now. He was desperately trying to search for level 13, but I would have liked to have seen him potentially look for a scrappy fight, try and bait Darksided under that keep. And, you know, the next Punisher will be spawning very shortly. The next Shrine will be active. It would have been ideal to try and get themselves back into this game.
If they did get a pick, then they could then force another fight at the Shrines, as you said. It would have been quite advantageous for them. But it didn't quite work out like that. Darksided, I don't know if they would have taken the bait either. Perhaps they would have with the aggression that they're showing us tonight.
Well, they're going to go for the sweaty play and pick up the shaman camps once again, which is timed so perfectly with that cannon minion, even more maximizing the potential that it can achieve. And it is going to lock up 3 members of No Worries here to deal with things. 15 to 12 right now. It's going to be level 13 very shortly for No Worries, putting them in a extremely close window to try and force a fight before 16 is being picked up, Vandy.
And we can see No Worries as well. They don't want to overextend. They've got 3 members. They're scared to basically have a solo lane to soak now because they know that with Darksider they can force a fight. As you said, we saw Hacky trying to do those MLG plays with the Mighty Gus getting behind them. It's a scary situation to be in if you're No Worries.
Do they see this Booty coming in on the right-hand side? I'm sure they did not expect that. There goes Vikrac into the back line, straight away jumping onto Jesmus. Booty in the front line. He's already got the army of dead ready to rock and roll. He's popping it. He is going straight for it, and Bunny Hop trying to lock in Leica, who does get the jump away, dodging the Halley Blast. Huge. The teams are stacked so closely. Perfect for a certification. Is it going to come down? He decides to run away. Self-destruct finding so much value, especially into Jesmus. Still, no certification. Are you going to pop it? When? Never. Tiger's gone. He is dead. Tyrael the second to fall. Sanctification never popped. I am so damn tilted. Booty gets the Ancestral. Cooldowns are still being popped. Moondruid with the Divine Shield. Never a pretty picture. Uther is the third to fall. It's a triple kill. Darksider just picking up kills one by one, breaking down these dominoes. And they just show no signs of giving up tonight, Vandy. It's insane.
Oh, it does feel bad about Tyrael not getting the Sanctification down. As you said, I'm not sure why he wasn't putting it down. Perhaps he thought he wasn't going to get value. Perhaps he was thinking, oh yeah, Sanctification's got a 100-second cooldown, but it's worth it if you can get out alive. And really, I think it could have made quite a difference in terms of saving Jesmus at that moment in time. So really unfortunate to see for poor Tommy there.
Well, let's talk about that team fight, because it's actually working really well. They were so clumped up as a squad. You saw, and you know that the self-destruct is going to come out. Just stand upon it as a squad. Pop that self-destruct, but have the Sanctification ready to go to negate it all, because right now they've not really given the best chance for both Tychus and Greymane to deal the damage. And they need to adjust their team fight if they sort of stand any chance to come back in this game.
Exactly right. It's all about when No Worries are rushing in, they're just getting stuck in the choke and they're not getting much done. The Gargantuan comes out from Demise, Gary the Gargantuan as you coined him, and he's just slowing them down. It's like just not giving them any room to breathe, and then the self-destruct, the Mighty Gus, just once again, just forcing them to fight on unfavorable turns, on unfavorable terrain, if you would.
Good old Gaza never disappoints. It's always for the boys, because that's what happens on Saturdays, but it's Thursdays, so Thursdays are for the boys as well. And right now, John Cena is the boy. He is jumping into that backline. He is punching on hard home, acting as that 6-member. Booty gets smashed on through with the Cursed Pillar, and Central coming on. And it's going to be the Bunny Hop now to try and turn things around. They do go for the Divine Shoot. It's going to be this time once again on Moondruid. Questionable plays. Jesmus on the flank, Leica taking on 4 members. Dwarven toss at the very last second. Self-destruct onto the core, and the keep. Punisher baited to the core. They've got 2 keeps, top and bottom down. They are looking to go for the win. If they can pick up another kill, surely it is in their sights. Collapsing onto Jesmus. He is on the wrong side of the core. 3 of No Worries on the left-hand side. The core is dropping. Sanctification only now being popped, Vandy. The core is at 35% moves, single-handedly going for the takedown. Tyrael is the first to drop. Can he get a redemption kill? He's looking for Hacky. He does! He gets Hacky. The core's down at 20%. Then they do it. The healing ward is there. The heals are there. The core is gone. And game number 1 going to Darksided.
Well played, Darksided. Oh my god, that team fight at the end there was just... It was so displaced. Everyone was everywhere, and I think that kind of sums up the game for No Worries. Everyone was everywhere. They never got a chance to fight as a consolidated team. And when they did, they just got stuck in a choke, essentially, because by then it was too late. They weren't being able to dictate the fight on their terms.
So we come to that point where we have to discuss MVPs. And I mean, I'm looking at Vikrac on that D.Va. The amount of value, I mean, yes, you could argue it should have been shut down, but that's exactly how the game rocks and rolls. And if you've got that mentality to play it confidently and your team or your opponent can't respond to it, then you've executed your role quite perfectly. He did top damage as D.Va, not to mention that. But the controlling fact of the self-destruct for me was MVP worthy. But Vandy, your 2 cents.
I also cannot argue with you. I know I've been agreeing with you all night, but it's because we have the same thoughts at the moment. D.Va's, Vikrac's D.Va. I always do that. I always call him D.Va. I'm not sure why. Vikrac's D.Va. He loves the character as much as I do. And it shows with all of those boosts, being able to just knock and displace, peeling for his team, those self-destructs getting so much value, putting them in the escape path or putting them in a place to zone, like that's something hard to do as diva. Like I myself am still trying to learn it, so hands down to Vicarek Skimmy. So congrats, Vicarek. You got MVP for this round.
There we go, guys. Still plenty more action in the playoffs. That was game number 1. Darkside are currently 1-0 up against No Worries, but game 2 coming very shortly.